Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ninja Infusions Kitchen. So today is all about this lovely snack which I came up with some few weeks back. So I thought, you know what, why don't I teach you guys how to prepare, or why don't we just learn how to advance in our cooking skills? Anyway, so I've got just about 500 grams of steak beef here. Very lovely, tender, sweet, yummy cut. Good amount of fat as well as good amount of lean meat. Chicken stock cube powder. I love my chicken stock cube powder. I use it for basically almost everything. I've got scotch bonnet here, 2 stems of spring onions, minced garlic and minced ginger. I like to buy my minced garlic and minced ginger frozen because it helps me to cut down my workload. I don't want to be mincing. So that garlic and ginger, 100% garlic ginger, no adhesive. I've also got oil here which we'll be using. Remember, you can find us at ninjainfusions.com, Instagram awesome dishes, Snapchat awesome dishes, Twitter awesome dishes with additional s. Send us an all your catering inquiry to info@ninjainfusions.com. We look forward to taking your order as well as our, you buying our spices and our cakes. Also, we do personalized shopping where we buy all your groceries and send them to you. So the first step will be to wash and season the beef. You know what I find is that the more things you add to when you're cooking your meat, like you're adding onions, you're adding this one, you're adding, I see so many things and I'm like, why do you need to add so much things? What you need for your beef, mostly when you're cooking stew or you're going to marinate them in stew and all those things, is to go less. Then when you get to your stew, you infuse the stew with the curry, the thyme, then you pour your meat in. The flavor is so magical. So avoid adding too many things when you're boiling your meat. The meat is not is dead already, so don't overdo things to the meat. So while this is on, I've just added the Maggi cube, and I added just a little bit of water, about 60 ml of water to this, excluding the little juice that came from the beef. So we're gonna cook this. We want to cook this to be as tender as possible. If we need more water, we're gonna add more water, but at this point I just want the beef to excrete its own water. So we're gonna place a lid. I'm gonna place a lid on that, and then we take it from there. So I've added more water. The reason I didn't add water at the very beginning was because I wanted to know how much water the beef would secrete. That's why I did not add more water. So once you do that in the very beginning, let the beef secrete its own water, then you add your own more water to it. That's a tip for you guys. I'm gonna blend the spring onions and the scotch bonnet. I'm not blending the garlic and the ginger because they're blended already. You'll see how we use that later, and the remaining stock powder. We really need the beef to cook very tender. We want it to tend to be tenderized so that we can pull them apart. That is where the whole element comes together, where you like eating and you're like, this thing is very gone. You understand that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna blend this with just roughly about half a cup of water. Okay, just half a cup of water. Trust me, this is gonna make you cough, but make sure you have your mouth closed and far from the anyway, when you finish blending, you don't want to blend it. We're not blending it small. We want it, you know, you want to see all the grain, the texture. We want all that in our blend. We don't want it perfectly blended. That's what you want. Just roughly blended, not perfectly blended. Okay. I've been boiling the meat now for about 40 minutes because I want it to be really tender so I can strip them apart. The next thing is to fry them. You can fry them in a deep fryer or in a deep pan, whichever way you want to fry this. So I'm going to fry them now, and then I'll come back. The fried meat, I'm going to let it cool down before I start shredding it. I don't want to injure myself or burn myself for any of this. So basically what I'm doing now is shredding up the beef. As you can see, I have to strip it off. That's why I say you need to get a good steak cut properly. I'll just continue to rip it up. That's why also you need to cook the beef a bit longer to tenderize it. If you've got deep fryer, feel free to use a deep fryer. I'll continue to do now is take the shredded beef, pour it in the pan with oil. I've added just a little bit of oil because we want to crisp it up, as the deep fryer couldn't crisp it all through thoroughly. it just crisps the outside, but now we want to crisp the inside of the meat out. So you put a little bit of oil, very little, not a lot, in the pan, and then we add the minced garlic and ginger to it. Ooh, I can hear the sizzling. You add that in and just stir it. You leave it so that the outside of the beef can then dry out, as in the inside of the beef can then dry out a little bit more, because we want it to dry out a little bit more. We want it to fry out. You see, some are already changing, some are already drying out. You can see that some are drying out already, so we need them to dry out. That's what you need. About 2 tablespoons of oil in the pan, not a lot of oil, just roughly 2 tablespoons of oil. The painstaking snack, but trust me, it is worth it. It's still turning brown. It's painstaking, but it's so worth it. You eat this in with a nice, you can have it with a lovely kind of wine or something, not kind of wine, a bottle of wine, or you know, something light but very cold. The smell, the aroma is unbelievable. Unbelievable. You can leave it to crisp a bit more, but I'm not. So the next step will be for me to add the remaining stock powder. Actually, I'm not going to use all. I'm going to leave some out because I put a spoon and a half in there, and the peppermint season. That is where the magic now comes together. It's like adding wine to your food. You let the wine cool down, you let the wine dry out, and that's what we need here. We need the spices to dry out, dry into the meat, and even make the meat more crispy and more tender. I sound like Jamie Oliver, don't I? No, but this is awesome dishes.
And there is a reason why they call me awesome dishes, because I do awesome food.
Alright, so gonna let this cook. It needs to all dry out. The pepper needs to dry out completely. It's slowly drying out, you can see. Slowly drying out. Leave it for a few more minutes. I know it's painstaking, but you know what? It's so delicious that it's worth all the stress, all the pain, all the coughing, the sneezing, and all of that. It's well worth it. Now, so we're gonna take a picture. Basically, the water, that's the mix of the pepper, the spring onions, needs to evaporate, and then you have only oil left. And what that has done is infused the meat. That's why we did not need a lot of spice, a lot of seasoning, a lot of rah at the very beginning. You know, cooking is so easy, it's so simple. We don't need to complicate things. So let's get serving. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned. NigerianInfusions.com. You see the way the silk crepes. I'm so looking forward to digging into this some point today with the kids, because they didn't have any on Sunday when I made it to church. So we're gonna devour this later with lovely drink. Look at that, very crispy. Yeah, I have to use my hand because we were using our hand to dig in. Remember, NigerianInfusions.com, home of great food, lovely spices, cakes, personal shopping for all your grocery shopping. We'll do it, deliver them to you, as well as our one-to-one cooking class. Why wouldn't you want to be trained by someone that doesn't know it all, but she's learning also, but knows what she's doing? Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.